Yes, people, right now we're on Zack Polanski's Twitter profile on X, and you can see in the image down there that is actually Zohran Mamdani. So you may or may not have heard of Zohran Mamdani. He is actually now the person who's just won the New York mayoral election race. So Zohran Mamdani is the victor in terms of the great battle between him and Andrew Cuomo, so the other candidate. And he's been able to basically win the New York mayoral election, and his politics have been around left-wing socialist type of ideas. So he's talked about, for example, having universal childcare for New Yorkers, having free buses, so that working class people and the workers of New York can use them to get around the city. Now, Zach Polanski has obviously shared this image and he's written a tweet about it. So let's take a little bit of a look to see what he's saying. So he's saying Zoran Mamdani's campaign was his determination to make New York City basically for everyone and something that everyone can afford to live in. So he's just basically congratulating him. Then he goes on to say that his success will resonate throughout the world and a story where no one is left behind. It's time to write that story across England and Wales too. So we have done a video recently about Zohran Mamdani's election victory, so you'll be able to see that on the channel. But the main thing here that I wanted to mention was so Zach Polanski, he's a leader of the Green Party, and some of you might or might not have heard of him, but he has picked up, massively in terms of popularity, and he's a similar kind of character in terms of Zohran Mamdani. So he does have, charisma, character, energy, and he has something about him that's attracting people. That's basically taken the Green Party membership from about 60, 70K to over 150,000 members in the space of just 2 months, which is absolutely amazing. For a political party to get 150,000 paying members, it's not an easy feat to do, especially to do it in 2 months. Whereas, for example, the Conservative Party, they have, I think they have less than 120K according to their data, and they've been around for over 100 years. Whereas the Green Party were much, much, much smaller party, and they've been able to, smash it in terms of the following that they've had. Now, obviously, Zach Polanski has, some kind of similar visions in terms of left wing politics, socialism, and other kinds of things. In terms of like trying to win power for the grassroots communities, the working people, he talks about the cost of living crisis as well. He talks about the NHS. So, for example, getting appointments on the NHS, dropping waiting lists, helping disabled people, helping people that need help and support, and basically being a voice for the grassroots level, dealing with the economy, that kind of stuff. So his kind of ideas resonate with people here in the United Kingdom. That's why he's been picking up so much popularity, and he has appeared across social media. Now, another comparison and similarity that we can make is how Polanski and Mamdani have really come out on social media and basically developed a specific kind of strategy which has appealed to the masses. So they've been making content, interviews, speeches, making videos for Instagram, different kinds of platforms out there, social media platforms where often young people are found. So recently, a Gen Z kind of poll showed that a lot of Gen Z people, young people in the UK, were looking to vote for the Green Party as in terms of intentional voting in the next general election. And they were quite popular. The Green Party were popular within the 50s, whereas obviously over 50s, the older generation were more like into reform, UK, and so on. But we can see how both of these individuals have kind of developed a social media presence, and that presence has allowed them to garner, millions and millions of views online, and getting eyeballs on their content. Has been really useful for Zoran Mamdani, but also Zach Polanski, and I think that's going to really help and boost the Green Party, which already has. Um, and in the coming months, going into Christmas and beyond into the new year, the Green Party could potentially hit the 200K mark in terms of members. We know that the Jeremy Corbyn and Zara Sultana, your party, announced they have 50,000 members, and they've claimed that they're the biggest socialist party in the UK. But the Greens have done exponentially well, and I do see some comparisons to be had between Zohran Mamdani and Zack Polanski in different ways in terms of similar kind of ideas, policies, left leaning tactics like social media strategy, being present online, and Mamdani's famous for going out, meeting people in their businesses, eating, sharing bread with them, eating food, talking to people on the street. And we've seen, for example, recently, Zack Polanski was in Handsworth in Birmingham, where he read a poem by Benjamin Zephaniah, a famous poet there. And he was talking about community cohesion, bringing communities together, and not being divisive, as some of the right wing politicians have been recently. So, both of them again have that similar way of dealing with people at the grassroots level. It's a community organizing kind of way of doing things. So that's where they're meeting people on the street, they're listening to them, they're talking to them, they're stopping them, they're asking them questions, they're asking them what's troubling them, what's worrying them, and when they talk to people, they get the answers from them. And a lot of the time, it's this cost of living crisis, it's the expenditure, energy bills, the rent, all this kind of stuff. So both of these individuals, politicians, have talked about rent and so on. Mamdani's talked about rent freezes for over 2 million New Yorkers to get rent freezes potentially. That's his vision in terms of one of his policies that he's looking into. Zack Polanski's talked about getting rid of landlords as well. That kind of policy. So again, there are some cross comparisons. Now, obviously, a lot of people will see these two individuals and they'll say, "Yeah, we'll agree." However, there are those on the right wing or even the far right who do not agree with these individuals, and both individuals have also made some hoo-ha with the business world as well. So some of the billionaires. So for example, Zach Polanski talks about a wealth tax, and Mamdani also talks about going after the super elite rich and the super wealthy. Obviously, the billionaires and those with big business interests are not happy about that, and they probably would have preferred Cuomo to have won the New York mayoral election, but he didn't because Mamdani is more of a people's person, just like Zach Polanski, and obviously both of these individuals have shown that, and it's probably why Zach Polanski shared this tweet, congratulating Mamdani, and maybe he's taking inspiration from Mamdani, the way he's kind of going about his politics, and as a politician and the man of the people. So I've talked about the Polanski effect, but you've also seen the Mamdani effect as well across the pond in America, New York City. Okay, people, so do let us know what you think about that in terms of the comparison, the different kinds of points I've made there, the comparative nature between these two politicians, Polanski and Mamdani. What do you think about that? Are they similar? Do you agree with their policies? Do you think their policies will succeed? What do you think about Mamdani becoming mayor? What do you think about Polanski potentially becoming an MP and helping the Green Party take on, competitors like Reform Party? And as Polanski said, he's looking to not just beat Labour Party, but actually replace the Labour Party going into the next 5 to 10 years. Do let us know in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Support the channel by clicking the join button. Okay, people, catch you in the next one.